Welcome back to the Alchemical Life podcast. This is a podcast that redefines transformation to help athletes improve performance and achieve more in both sport and life. What's up is your host, Abigail Crowe, and I'm back and I sound congested as hell, and it's because I am, because the winter bug got my ass and tried to take me down, and it did for a couple of days. I hate being sick. It is not fun. I feel like a little weak baby, and I was sitting on the couch by myself. And I go back to seriously being a kid again. I'm like, I just want love and to be held and some soup. And so I was just hugging a pillow and making chili by myself. It was quite sad. Another thing to note, couple announcements here. One, my program has got me so excited. I am trying out all these crazy new things, really incorporating a lot more plyos than I ever have. Olympic lifts, which I have never really done. So I'm doing hang snatches and hang cleans, which is new and different, and I suck at them, but it's really fun to experiment with and play with and learn. And so I don't know, just finding something. Ooh, I'm so sorry guys, I just bumped the mic. Finding something new and training and experimenting with it and playing with it is just so fun. It makes me a better coach, and it brings the element of play back into training again for me. So it's really exciting. Also, another thing to announce, got programs releasing here soon. Toward the end of the year, I'll have 3 programs geared primarily for the endurance athlete, but really anybody can utilize them and will get benefit from them, especially if there's somebody that is not used to following a program. You definitely will find benefit from it. Or if you are somebody who is returned to sport or in a season and you just want to monitor volume, then these programs can still work well for you across sports. Good Lord. If I cough, I apologize. But they're primarily for endurance athletes. There's 3 programs: a return to sport program, a go further program, and a be unstoppable program. One is designed from return to sport is you are injured, and a lot of time you're either coming from physical therapy or you are getting to a place where you're starting to introduce training again. It'll get you back on track to running, biking, swimming, all that good stuff that you're doing. And then the Go Further program is a great intermediate program, a good, solid, not quite in season, kind of off season, entering into preseason program. Great for when you have a couple of months of downtime in a race and you really want to work on developing strength and stability and a little bit of power as well. And then the Be Unstoppable program is going to be ideal for somebody, especially runners or other endurance athletes who are in season and they are wanting to maintain some of that strength, stability, power, speed, whatever it is, endurance, but they are not wanting to get super fatigued, right, because they've got races and stuff going on and their training volume is pretty high. This is a great program for those people. So I'll keep talking more about them in the future, but those are almost done and ready to roll out. I'm very excited to get them rolling because I think that I'll be able to help a lot more people who aren't necessarily in my city, and maybe people who don't want to or can't afford to get a one-on-one coach. So I'll be there for them. Moving on, today we're going to do another Q&A. So I got some other questions that I didn't get to answer, and then I also got some questions when I went and spoke at FSU at a performance psychology class. Got a lot of really incredible questions with the students, and we had a great dialogue, and so I want to go through some of those just because I think they'd be helpful for you guys. So I'm going to answer probably, we're just going to see how many I'll answer. And we'll go down the line and see what we get done. And hopefully I can think straight. My brain has been mush. I don't know. When I'm sick, everything shuts down. My body shuts down. My brain shuts down. My soul shuts down. Everything except for my feelings. My feelings rise up. And I'm full baby mode. So the first question is, also like and subscribe, bitch. Friend, like and subscribe. And if you're listening to this, give a review, 5 stars. Give whatever star review you think it is, but 5 stars. Okay, so first question is, what is something we could use more of in the industry? What is something we could use less of in the industry? I think, coach to coach, I think something we could use more of in the industry is collaboration and encouragement. People are so afraid, maybe it's also, it's me too, but so afraid to experiment and try new things, I think, because of other coaches, because of the ridicule or the judgment of other coaches. And I feel this because I've had other coaches come to me and talk shit about other coaches and stuff that they've seen them do and program, when in reality, like, we're never going to get good at what we do unless we trial and error and practice some shit and fuck stuff up, especially on ourselves. Like, we're the best guinea pigs to work on sometimes. And so I think we could use more collaboration, more encouragement, more Socratic discussion when it comes to new training styles, movements, exercises, positions, things like that in the training room. Something we could use less of. Oh, I mean, it's the opposite of that. The judgment. I mean, because in the same way, also, I'm like, something we could use less of is all the bullshit coaches. I wish there was a little bit more of a barrier to entry to become a coach. To be honest, I think that it's way too easy to say you're a coach and to start online coaching or in-person coaching even. And I just, I know so many incredible coaches, and they dedicate so much of their life and their time to training and learning and getting better and working with clients and other coaches. And those, I mean, those are the coaches I surround myself with, and I appreciate and I admire and I respect. And honestly, I won't follow in their footsteps. But there are so many coaches that are just absolute crap, and that they just do it because it's an easy $400 certification, intro cert. They can make decent money, and it's something that they don't have to think about if they don't want to think about. And I hate that. So something we could do less of is the charlatans, and something we could do more of is encouragement, especially amongst, sometimes it's the best coaches that are the ones that are so judgy of some of the other better coaches. And I do like that we want to keep the standard high and continue to, hold each other accountable. But I really think that we're not going to get anywhere unless we'll get a lot farther if we collaborate and encourage one another and ask questions instead of judge. As far as, no, actually, that's a good answer. Maybe in like the more traditional, just not coach realm, something we could use more of in the industry, play and training. Everyone's either way too dang serious or they're just fake as fuck. Like, they post this stuff that it's just like, that they ain't eating that way. They're not training that way. They're not actually, they do it. They're in the right lighting at the right time. I think we could use more of some play in sport and less of this fake shit. And the idea that you have to, like, I wake up and I make my 3 eggs that popped out of the chickens that I have in the backyard, and then I had 3 things of organ meat because it's good for you, and I churned my own butter and used that to cook. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, I woke up this morning, I had dang coffee and my pills, and I made my sister's breakfast. And that's a good morning. That's a slow morning for me. That's a morning where I got time. Usually in the morning, it's like I wake up, I have coffee, I freaking go off of just coffee and my own crack energy for a few hours, and then I chug a protein shake or something, and I move about my day. Like, that's the reality of it. So less fake shit, more play, have fun, experiment. That's where I'm at today. Thoughts on going hard into HIIT training or hard cardio fasted? I don't fucking care. I mean, I don't care. I think it'd be better if you're going into hard HIIT training. The couple things I see is, let's say you're a morning workout person, right? And you want to go into it fasted. If you're going in like mid-afternoon fasted, not ideal, man. But if you go in the morning and you have a big meal for dinner, by all means, I don't really necessarily see a problem with that. I think the bigger issue I see is people go into HIIT training with zero warm-up before. They treat a 10-minute HIIT session as literally just 10 minutes. Like, I get on the bike and I send it. And sometimes if I have a lift in a HIIT session, that's all I've got time for. You just got to work with what you got. But if you are going in particularly with this I want to get to a maximal heart rate, maximal intensity. I'm really testing the VO2 here. I apologize, you guys, I'm dying. Then you want to at the very least warm up, because you want to be able to allow your body to get into the proper, to set you up to be in the correct energy systems. And in order to do that, there's going to have to be some gear shifting going on energetically, metabolically. And when you are fasted or it's early in the morning, it's like starting a car in the cold. Like, it just takes a little bit longer to get where we need to go, to rev that engine. Okay, so best thing for HIIT training or hard cardio fasted in the morning is just give yourself a little bit longer of a warm-up, and your warm-up is going to have a gradual, slow intensity, and you're going to get up pretty high in intensity before you even start your training session. So that's what I have on my thoughts on that. Oh my God, good Lord. Oh my God, I'm dying. If a new trainer came to you for advice, what are 3 things you would tell them to prioritize? Oh my God, you guys are, these questions are so good. If a new trainer came to you for, okay, so the 3 things that I would tell them to prioritize. I've had new trainers come to me for advice. I tell them every time, the first one of the is do free work. And every coach says this, but seriously, what else are you going to do with your day? If you're not making money anyways, just do free work. Give people free sessions, write people a program, watch, shadow, help out, clean around the gym, whatever it is, do free work, because you don't have anything fucking else to do. You're not making any money. And at the very least, you get, maybe a client comes out of one of these things. So you get money. Like, worst case scenario, you learn and you practice and you put a reputation and a name out there for yourself and you help somebody, which naturally, by the way, makes people want to help you. And at the best case scenario, you get a new client or you get referrals. So do free work is one thing. The other thing that I would tell them to prioritize is educate yourself. Educate yourself. That sounds so bitchy, but go learn. And that doesn't necessarily always mean being in the books. Go shadow, intern, travel if you need to be around really freaking good coaches. And don't be the person with the clipboard in the corner. Like, get immersed, get involved, fuck shit up, make mistakes, ask questions, and just watch and observe coaches in their element, being awesome, doing their thing. Interning and learning that's number 2, the biggest. That might even be top of the list. Just go out there and learn more and get good certifications. I always will plug them until the day I die, but Prescript has been amazing, is a great certification. If you want one before Prescript that's still pretty damn good, I got my PPSC, and that is a good certification, and it's not quite as in the weeds as a Prescript certification. It's a great stepping stone. A lot of people look for, if you've got a degree in XPhys or if you have a college degree, a bachelor's, then go get your CSCS. A lot of people like to see a CSCS on their resume. I don't have mine, but that's a good one to get. And so, get get solid certifications, and then go out there, travel if you have to, hit people up in the DMs, bother people, but man, just watch great coaches be great and learn from them, and then experiment. And then the third thing that I tell them to prioritize is always make sure that you make time for your own sessions and give yourself a little bit of time in your sessions to buffer, to play around. So have some time for yourself where you take time to think about your session, how it went, film your stuff, look back on it, because ultimately you are your own guinea pig, and you can always experiment on yourself. I've discovered a lot about training volume and intensity, and things that work warm-up wise, things that prep for certain lifts better or worse based on, myself, technique, cueing, based on myself. Also on other clients, because I'm just me, there are other people, and so people are going to respond to different things differently, but you're your own guinea pig. So have fun with yourself and give yourself time during your training session to get better at your craft. It's not just going to be a training session where you bro out. It's also you learning. Okay, so the next question is, how does confidence vary across different ages and skill levels? And what tailored strategies do you use to help build confidence in younger athletes versus older ones? So we'll go younger, older, and then we'll go skill level. Every single person, any skill level, any age, any gender, any race, doesn't matter, will always do well with positive reinforcement. I don't give a fuck what you say. Even if people say, I do really well with negative reinforcement, you might joke around with them a little bit, like, hey, get your shit together, come on. But ultimately, people do really well with positive reinforcement. I have found, and I've done like my own little experiment in training sessions where people have been doing movements wrong, and I cue them by saying, you're doing a great job at trying to do the thing that I want them to do, and then they do it. They do it better. And it's because I'm complimenting them and I'm positively reinforcing the cue that I would like for them to do, and they nail it every time. I found that helps so much. So when it comes to confidence, people are going to build confidence when the professional, the person that they trust, right, as the authority figure in this scenario, the coach, helps give them the confidence and positively reinforces the things that they're doing. Younger tend to be a little bit more confident, cocky, or just they don't care as much about, they're not quite as insecure. They might not be confident, but they're not as insecure. They're just these like beautiful, innocent souls. Sometimes they're little shits, but for the most part, they're just great to work with. And they also do really well with competition and visualization. So being able to visualize things and also being able to compete with one another, that also, or with you as the coach, if they're doing a one-on-one, that helps a lot with confidence. And even if they lose, like, it just helps build confidence because they know that they're hanging out, they're having fun, they're getting to fail in a safe environment. And usually, if you continue to add competitive elements, there are going to be times in which they win and crush and feel awesome. So there's that. When it comes to older populations, they can be a little bit more skeptical, and they can come in a little bit more insecure and fearful and timid, and so they tend to do really well with data, numbers. Competition's fun for everyone. Obviously, again, positive reinforcement is great for everyone, but older populations, and by older populations, I just mean 25 plus, they tend to do better with actual numbers, data. This is what your numbers were at the beginning of this blog. This is what they are now. This is what your waist circumference was here. This is what your waist circumference is now. This was your body fat percentage. This is your body fat percentage. And because they can see the hard truth. So that's what I found. For skill levels, for higher skill levels, they actually tend to, you would think that they'd be more confident, but I found that they tend to spiral more quickly because there's more on the line, especially if they're, pro guys, or they've got they're like contractually, money is on the line, their livelihood is on the line. There's just more at risk and at stake, and so their identity is a little bit more wrapped into their performance and how they do. And so those higher skilled people, you have to really realistically talk them off the ledge with some positive reinforcement. This does not mean bullshit them. They do not want to be bullshitted, and they will be able to tell if you are full of shit. They know when they've sucked, but oftentimes the degree to which they think that they've sucked is much worse than it is. And so it's good to bring in the reality of, hey, so we didn't hit this week, but we predicted this based on this, or this is probably why this happened. Once we go into this next week, or once we go into this back again tomorrow, I foresee happening. We're going to fix X, Y, Z, whatever. You have some kind of game plan, and then usually finish it off with some kind of compliment. You actually did really well in this area. So keep this whenever we move back into this thing. I know this is a general prompt, and so it's very in the air and open, but if you give people who are in their head a real encouraging talk, I found that helps a lot more because people do not want to be lied to. So if they sucked, do not tell them they did great. They sucked. But if they sucked, don't also tell them that they suck. Just be honest and kind. Where are we at? 20 minutes? Let's do one more question. I like this. All right. No. Let's do this one. When dealing with certain athletes who tend to struggle with motivation and discipline, in what ways are you going about to change their habits? I cannot change their habits. So it's not my job to change their habits. It's theirs. It is my job to create an environment to support them in it, but ultimately it is their job to change habits. And this ends up being a point of contention with coach and client sometimes, because the client gets upset that they're not seeing the results that they want because they're not doing the work. And most of the time, especially my clients, it's a very easy, honest conversation, which is, hey, where do you feel I've been failing at supporting you in this? And oftentimes they think about it and they say nowhere. I say, where do you think you failed yourself in supporting you in this? And they have 10 different reasons. And so then I can come around and say, what is the why behind this? Why do you really want to accomplish this thing? Because if they do not have a strong enough why, they will not do the thing that they say that they want to do. People say they want to lose 5 pounds. It's just a general thing. But they also clearly want to go out to dinner with their husband or go out and do their Thanksgiving, Christmas parties, socialize, get drinks on the weekend, more. Because community and, relaxation time and free time is more important to them than losing that 5 pounds. And so we have that talk. I say, this clearly is more of this is showing to be a greater priority for you. And that is totally fine. If you would like for the losing the 5 pounds to be top priority, there are just some things that we need to do. And it doesn't mean that you need to get rid of all of this fun community time. It just means that we need to adapt what it looks like. And so we paint that picture, and if they're okay with it and we can move into that, then we go for it. If they're not okay with it and they say, you're right, I don't care about losing it. Why did I even have this goal? We find something else that's more realistic that makes them, feel fulfilled in their training, and then we go that direction. So they need to know why. They need to have a strong why. They need to have constant reminders of the why, and they need to have an environment that helps support and reinforce the why so that they are set up for success. Sometimes it's also giving people challenges in the gym to overcome, challenges in the training session to overcome. You want to give them proof that they can overcome things, that they can actually accomplish things that they've set their mind to. Because in a goal, whether it's body composition or strength or performance, whatever it is, usually there's a reasonable timeline between setting the goal and getting the goal. And so this little path in between feels quite discouraging sometimes and long and dreadful. And so you as a coach need to be able to set reminders and mini goals to tick off so that people feel like they're going somewhere and that they're going in the right direction. And then I think the last thing is also just be the example. Set a good example as to what it means to be somebody who has discipline, walks and operates in integrity, and adheres to goals that they set. If you are a coach that says they're going to do something and then doesn't do it, who, is supposed to represent a certain ideal as to what your brand is or your reputation is, and you're not doing that, immediately you're setting an example for your clients that they don't have to do that either. And I think being the example and leading by example is one of the number one ways to get clients motivated, because they think, okay, my coach is doing this. She's just like, we're all just normal people. I can do this too. And also I trust that my coach will get me to the place that I want because she or he has done this for themselves. So be the example. I'm gonna cut it there. That's gonna be it for the Q&A today. Thank you guys for listening in and tuning in. I hope that these questions were helpful. And I'm fucking brain fogged up, dude. I don't know what I'm saying right now, but I'm coming in next week. I'm coming in hot next week. I'm coming back on next week. I have no idea what we're going to talk about, but today's Q&A. Share this thing. I've shut down. Bye, guys. Like, subscribe, review. Bye.